Hi, I'm Steve. You can call me Steve. A few years ago, I was in an amateur production of Inherit the Wind, a play about a science teacher on trial for teaching evolution. I played the science teacher. It was a huge stretch for me. The play is a fictionalized version of a real-life mock trial challenging a law against teaching evolution in Tennessee. Anti-evolutionary thought has been pervasive for decades, and it's usually based on misunderstanding of evolutionary theory or outright lies. And one of the targets of these bad faith arguments is the eye. Your eye is a complex structure made up of many components working together. The creationist argument runs that if you take away any one of these structures, the eye doesn't function, and therefore it can't have evolved naturally. Thing is, an organism evolving is not like a car being assembled. Individual components don't simply appear fully formed. Rather, all the various components evolve together, and new ones arrive gradually over time from less complicated structures. Things only appear from nothing in myths and religious stories, which explains why creationists default to thinking that way. Just about every animal has some sort of light-sensing capability, all the way down to animal-like one-cell organisms. There are microscopic beasties with a cluster of light-absorbing proteins at one end, so they can tell vaguely where light is coming from. They can't see images because they don't have real eyes, and if they did, they don't have brains to interpret what they would be seeing. Still, this is an indication that light sensitivity is a very ancient capability. In multicellular animals, the earliest eye is just a cluster of light-sensing cells. These served the same purpose as the last example, just a means of figuring out approximately where the light is coming from so the animal can move towards it. It can't see images, it can't detect predators, it's really only good for sunbathing. This type of eye still exists today in about 4% of living animal species. The next step is to put these light-sensing cells in a little divot. You still can't see things, but you have a better idea of where the light is coming from. Before, you could tell the light source was somewhere over that way-ish. Now, you can tell it's right there. These sorts of eyes are found in squishy, floppy things like planaria, and they look like this. They are far too amusing not to show you. The next step is to close the opening of that cup until you're left with a pinhole. Now we're approaching something that looks like a camera. If you took photography in high school, way back in the days when we still used actual film, you might have started by making a pinhole camera. That's a shoebox with light-sensitive paper at one end and a tiny little hole at the other. I watched my friends carry these things around with a finger over the hole until they found something they wanted to take a picture of. They positioned the box, they took the finger off the hole for 30 seconds, then they covered it up again and took the box back to the darkroom so they could develop the picture. Pinhole eyes are the first ones that can actually see images. They're not great images, but they can still see objects, and it's a huge improvement over previous versions. This type of eye is found in the nautilus, which is a sea creature with a coiled shell and Cthulhu tentacles. That's part one of evolving a better eye. We've gone from simple light-sensing spots to something that can resolve a dim, fuzzy image of a large object. Next episode, we'll see much more rapid development that leads to something that looks like this. Thanks for watching. I've been Steve.